If you've ever killed a plant and felt genuinely bad about it, this video is for you. I've forgotten to water plants for weeks. I've left them in dark corners, ignored them through entire seasons, and moved them around the house without thinking twice. And most of them died, but 6 of them didn't. 6 plants just kept going no matter what I did or didn't do. Those are the ones I want to talk about today, because if they survived my neglect, they'll survive yours too. We're covering the snake plant, the ZZ plant, pothos, the cast iron plant, the spider plant, and the rubber plant. Let's get into it. Number 1. Snake plant. The snake plant was the first plant I stopped babying, mostly because I forgot it existed for about 2 months. I moved it to a corner shelf, got busy, and just never went back to it. When I finally checked on it, it was completely fine, not just alive, fine. That's when I started paying attention to why. The snake plant stores water directly in its thick, upright leaves. When you water it, it holds onto that moisture for a long time. So when you forget, it's not immediately in crisis. It's drawing from its own reserves. It also tolerates low light better than almost any other houseplant. It doesn't need a bright window, it doesn't need indirect sun. It will grow slowly but steadily in a dim hallway or a poorly lit room. For watering, once every 2 to 3 weeks is enough during spring and summer. In fall and winter, you can stretch that to once a month or even less. The soil should dry out completely between waterings. That's the most important thing to understand about this plant. It does not want to sit in wet soil. Overwatering is the one thing that will actually kill it. Dry and neglected, it survives. Wet and overloved, it rots. If you're a forgetful owner, put it in a terracotta pot. Terracotta breathes and dries out faster than plastic or ceramic, which gives you more of a buffer against accidental overwatering. And when you do water it thoroughly, let the excess drain out completely, and then leave it alone. That's genuinely all it needs. Number 2. ZZ plant. The ZZ plant looks like it was designed specifically for people who are bad at keeping plants alive. The leaves are thick and waxy, which slows down water loss. The stems are fleshy and hold moisture, and beneath the soil it grows from rhizomes, thick, potato-like structures that store water and nutrients for long periods of time. This plant is essentially drought-proof by design. I left my ZZ plant without water for nearly 6 weeks once. I was traveling, came home, and expected the worst. The leaves were still glossy, still upright, still doing exactly what they were supposed to do. That's the rhizome system working. Even when the top of the plant looks untouched by stress, those underground reserves are quietly keeping it alive. Water your ZZ plant once every 2 to 3 weeks in warmer months, and once a month or less in winter. Let the soil dry out completely, not just the top inch but all the way through. The most reliable method is to lift the pot. If it feels light, it's time to water. If it still feels heavy, leave it alone. ZZ plants are much more likely to be killed by overwatering than by drought. For light, a ZZ plant is comfortable in low to medium indirect light. It won't thrive in complete darkness, but it handles dim rooms well. It grows slowly, which means it also doesn't need frequent repotting or feeding. A diluted liquid fertilizer 2 or 3 times a year during the growing season is more than enough. If you forget to fertilize entirely, it will still survive. It just grows a little slower. Number 3. Pothos. Pothos is one of the most forgiving plants in existence, and I say that from experience. I've underwatered it, overwatered it, put it in low light, put it in bright light, let it trail across a shelf, and completely ignored it for weeks. Every single time, it bounced back. The reason is that pothos is genuinely adaptable in a way that most plants are. It tolerates a wide range of light conditions, from bright indirect light down to fairly dim spaces. It doesn't need high humidity. It doesn't need a specific temperature range beyond avoiding frost. And when it's thirsty, it tells you clearly. The leaves will start to look slightly limp or dull. That's your cue to water it. Once you do, it recovers within hours. You don't need to guess with pothos, it communicates. Water it when the top 1 to 2 inches of soil feel dry. In most homes, that works out to roughly once a week in summer and once every 10 to 14 days in cooler months. If you miss a watering, it's fine. If you miss two, the leaves will tell you and you water it and move on. For light, bright indirect light produces the fastest growth and the most vibrant leaf color, but it will live and grow in lower light just more slowly. One practical tip: pothos grows quickly and long trailing vines are a sign of a healthy plant. But if you notice the lower leaves yellowing or the stems getting leggy, that's usually a sign of too little light or inconsistent watering. Move it somewhere slightly brighter and get back on a loose watering schedule. You don't need to be precise, just consistent enough. Every week or so, check the soil. That habit alone is enough to keep a pothos thriving indefinitely. Number 4. Cast iron plant. The name says everything. The cast iron plant earned its reputation over a long time, and it's not an exaggeration. This plant was popular in Victorian-era homes specifically because it could survive gas lighting, coal dust, drafty rooms, and inconsistent care. It's been surviving neglect for well over a century. I put mine in a dim corner with almost no natural light, watered it sporadically, and it just sat there, steady and green, completely unbothered. The cast iron plant grows slowly, which is both a feature and a benefit for forgetful owners. Because it grows slowly, it doesn't need frequent watering, frequent feeding, or much attention at all. It stores some moisture in its thick rhizomes and has very low overall water requirements. Water it once every 2 to 3 weeks and let the soil dry out significantly between waterings. In winter, once a month is enough. It's one of the few plants that genuinely thrives in low light, not just tolerates it, thrives. A north-facing room, a dim hallway, a space several feet away from any window, the cast iron plant handles all of it without complaint. It doesn't need direct sun at any point. In fact, direct sun can scorch its leaves. Keep it away from harsh light and it will reward you with steady, reliable growth. Number 5. Spider plant. The spider plant is hard to kill, and I've tested that theory more than once. It goes limp when it's dry, but it springs back quickly after watering. It tolerates irregular light. It doesn't demand humidity or fertilizer on a strict schedule. What makes it particularly useful for forgetful owners is that it communicates its needs physically and visibly, and it forgives you quickly once you respond. Spider plants grow from a central crown and produce long, arching leaves. As they mature, they send out long stems with small offshoots. These are the spiderets that give the plant its name. The plant stores a small amount of moisture in its thick, fleshy roots, which gives it some buffer against missed waterings. Water it when the top inch of soil is dry, roughly once a week in summer and every 10 to 14 days in cooler months. It prefers bright to medium indirect light, but handles lower light with patience. One important tip: spider plants are sensitive to fluoride in tap water, which can cause brown leaf tips. If your water is heavily treated, letting it sit in an open container overnight before watering will help reduce that. Brown tips don't mean the plant is dying, it's a cosmetic issue, not a health crisis. Trim the tips if it bothers you and adjust your watering approach. Number 6. Rubber plant. The rubber plant closes out this list because it combines a striking appearance with a surprisingly low need for attention. It has large, thick, glossy leaves that store moisture and slow down water loss. It tolerates periods of drought without dramatic wilting. And it adapts to indoor light conditions better than many large-leafed plants. Water it when the top inch or two of soil is dry, usually once every 1 to 2 weeks in spring and summer and less frequently in fall and winter. When you do water it, water thoroughly and allow full drainage. Like most plants on this list, the rubber plant is more likely to suffer from overwatering than from being left alone too long. Medium to bright indirect light suits it best, but it handles lower light reasonably well. If you've struggled to keep plants alive, every plant on this list was chosen because it gives you room to be imperfect. They store water, tolerate low light, and recover from neglect in ways that most plants simply don't. The snake plant, the ZZ plant, pothos, the cast iron plant, the spider plant, and the rubber plant. Start with any one of them, and you'll find that keeping a plant alive is more achievable than you think. Drop a comment below telling us which plant you're going to try first. Subscribe to Plants Theory for more plant profit theories every week, and hit that like button if this gave you a new way to look at your backyard. We'll see you in the next one.